It is April 28, 2017. This is the Watchman News, and I'm Mike Callahan. This is an update to the report I did earlier with the ballistic missile test by North Korea. This is RT reporting, and as it's headlined, North Korean ballistic missile test estimated to have failed. That's coming from Seoul. As always, I'll put the link to this article in the description. It reads, North Korea has launched a ballistic missile from an area north of the country's capital, Pyongyang. South Korea's Yonhap news agency reported, citing the South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff. North Korea fired an unidentified missile from a site in the vicinity of Bucheon and Pyongnam-do, I'll never get that right, South Pyongan province early this morning. The Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement, according to Yonhap. It is estimated to have failed, the JCS said. Missile debris allegedly landed in the Sea of Japan, also known as the East Sea, according to a U.S. official who spoke with CNN. An unnamed U.S. official confirmed to NBC News that there was indeed a missile test, but there was no indication that it was nuclear. The missile reportedly exploded in the air just a few seconds after launch, Yonhap news agency said, adding that the projectile was likely a newly developed intermediate-range ballistic missile, or an IRBM. The South Korean military are analyzing the type of missile fired and the flight distance of the projectile traveled. Meanwhile, U.S. officials are still waiting to determine the type of missiles, Reuters reports. The reported launch comes amid rising tensions in the region and a U.S. military buildup in response to the North Korean nuclear threat. It also comes just hours after U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson told the UN Security Council that the military option remains on the table for the U.S. to curb Pyongyang's nuclear program. All options for responding to future provocations must remain on the table, Tillerson told the 15-member international body. Diplomatic and financial leverage or power will be backed up by willingness to counteract North Korean aggression with military action if necessary. Tillerson's remarks come just a day after U.S. President Donald Trump told Reuters that there's a chance of a major conflict in the region if diplomacy fails. There is a chance that we could end up having a major conflict with North Korea. Absolutely, Trump told Reuters. We'd love to solve things diplomatically, but it's very difficult. Military solution totally unacceptable. Dialogue only viable choice. Russia and China. So, see what I'm saying? I keep trying to tell everybody that what you're seeing in the media in the U.S. is bogus about, China being 110% with us on this and all. No, that ain't what's going on. And I think this article is making it clear. I'll continue. In an attempt to deter North Korea from more nuclear and missile tests, the U.S. has sent a group of American warships led by an aircraft carrier to the region. This week, North Korea conducted large-scale live-fire exercises on its eastern coast, just as the U.S. and South Korea were engaged in their annual war games. As the U.S. continued to push for peace through increasing its military power in the region, China and Russia have been urging both sides to refrain from provocations and belligerent rhetoric and to find diplomatic solution to the ongoing crisis. Which makes no sense to me, right? Because I really don't think that North Korea just wants to nuke somebody, right? I mean, if he wanted that, he would have done it. He's already got the ability. Let's not play around. Let's not play stupid. He's already got the ability. He's got the bombs. He's got the missiles. He could at least take out Seoul. Even if he couldn't get a missile up and over, however far that would be, which isn't that far, it doesn't mean that he can't slip a nuclear device inside of a box truck into the city and detonate it, right? Common sense. That's all we need is a tiny bit of common sense here, right? I'm not saying I'm like all on Kim Jong-un's side. I'm not saying that. I'm not on his side at all. No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is if he wanted to cause harm on people, he would have done it. He would have done it. Same with Iran. Guess what? They would have done it. But they haven't. Because all they want to do is be able to remain sovereign and to be able to defend that sovereignty. That simple. Really that simple. Anyway, I'll continue. Sorry for the rant. Stressing the need to avoid chaos on the Korean Peninsula, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi called for cool-headed negotiations over North Korea's missile and nuclear programs. Right now, the situation in the Korean Peninsula is under grave tension and at a critical point, Wang said, ahead of a UN Security Council meeting Friday. The peaceful settlement of the nuclear issue on the Korean Peninsula through a dialogue and negotiations represent the only right choice that is practical and viable, the minister added. A military solution to the North Korean issue is totally unacceptable and could lead to a terrible catastrophe, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Gennady Gatilov said in a meeting at the UN Security Council. While accusing North Korea of ignoring the United Nations Security Council's resolutions which ban nuclear weapons development, Gatilov said that at the same time the use of military force is absolutely unacceptable as it is fraught with disastrous consequences for the Korean Peninsula and the entire Northeast Asia. Pointing out the bellicose rhetoric paired with an unreasonable show of muscle makes everyone in the world ask themselves if there is going to be a war. Gatilov said that it is no secret that in the midst of tensions, any thoughtless step may result in terrible consequences. So there you go. I mean, to me, it's pretty well laid out there. And I just don't let this government or this media play on my emotions. I don't. I refrain from that. I push that away as far as I can because that's where they get people. That's where they get people. When they get people all balled up with emotion, a lot of times, even the Bible warns about it. A lot of times people will make the wrong decisions. And whether it be something that they personally do or something that they get behind or support. So we have to use our heads here. Unfortunately, that's not what the government and media wants you to do. Sad. It's something to keep an eye on. It's something that could develop a lot further in just a matter of minutes and hours. So we'll keep you updated as we can. Again, the link will be down in the description.